I went to college thinking that God wanted me to start an orphanage, and so I traveled to many different countries, and in every country I asked God, is this the place? But instead of feeling a confirmation about where that orphanage would be, I heard God challenging me about the way I saw these people living overseas. They were living in community, they were serving amongst the poor around them. They were not necessarily a nuclear family, but acting as if they were. And I was also reading this in the Gospels and in Acts. All of that coupled with traveling and seeing this overseas and in a modern day world, I felt challenged to come back to Cleveland and do that here.
So together with our spiritual community, having these desires on our hearts, we joined ourselves to a long-standing stream of prayer sustained by faithful saints, many of whom are friends and all of whom were living in this neighborhood long before we did. God began to move through a network of existing relationships, and He supernaturally arranged for us to live on the campus of the former Blessed Sacrament Parish in Cleveland's underserved Clark-Fulton neighborhood, which now belongs to Bay Presbyterian Church.
So sharing our lives and our home with like-minded brothers and sisters, we've been living here for a little over 2 years.
And now we're here, privileged to live at the center of a thriving organism called the Family Ministry Center. So we are a nuclear family that's totally blended our lives with spiritual family. And this now blended family is living at the center of a community within a community, a colony of heavens taking an invasion to the surrounding locale.
God has called His church to be a house of prayer for all nations, and He's called His people to be priests to that calling.
And like a portrait of the unceasing communion between the heart of God and our own heart, we've set apart a prayer room for the express purpose of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, prayer and worship.
God has shown us that as we pray, plowing spiritual soil, that we're to cultivate the physical soil of our neighborhood as well.
Yeah, we're already equipped with these astounding campus-wide plans which make provision for the perpetual harvest of fruits and vegetables, the creation of experiential learning spaces for neighborhood children and families, the ongoing harvest of rainwater and solar energy, just to name a few. Jesus assures us that the gates of hell will not prevail against the victorious onslaught of His church.
To follow Him is to live like Him. It's to engage with people on their own turf.
Yeah, and to engage with them in their own circumstances, and to bring with us the explosive light of God's kingdom. Simple gospel engagement means praying on site with insight, walking the streets of our neighborhood, looking for opportunities to pray with and for our neighbors.
Ultimately, we are jealous for holistic transformation in our neighborhood, which will make famous the name of the Lord.
So we pray, labor, partner, and invest to the end that it's passion for Jesus, which is the seed and guiding light for transformation in our neighborhood. While all of this is in our hearts, scheduling and financial restraints are restrictive.
Dividing our time and our resources between raising a young family, working multiple jobs, and simply just trying to make ends meet, we find ourselves unable to fully embody that missionary calling that we know God has placed on us.
We really long to be fully submerged in the purposes of God. And that's why, though it makes us tremble, we're daring to ask for partners, those who believe in this work and believe in us. And we would be so humbled and so grateful to begin a conversation with anyone that might be stirred in that direction.